All right, Joe. Another episode of No Strokes is here, and I got the Aaron Rye edition customs, baby.
Oh man, you look good in those. I think you're gonna have
These
to
are my
adapt to those.
all-weather.
Yeah.
I'm invested in. I'm usually a. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm a little tea guy. I'm a little tea guy. I don't have the Castle tees. Um, my very first set of clubs were this like oversized titanium-y Tommy Armour. I forget what they were called, but they were like this big expensive set that I bought. I made my dad buy me in San Diego when I was like in sophomore year of high school. And he made me put head covers on them. And I was like, there's no fucking way I'm wearing head covers. He was like, I didn't spend $1,100 on clubs. The very first tournament, he was standing there watching us play, and some kid came up and was like, who's the fucking, won't say the word here, but you can imagine what the word was, with head covers on their fucking irons. And my dad walks over while I'm on the green, and he just starts taking the fucking. I shit you not, on hole 3 at Glendale Lakes, there's a pile of, obviously this is about 30 years ago now, but if you were to go back on hole 3 at Glendale Lakes, it's just a pile of fucking head covers sitting next to the green.
Dude,
But
if
apparently
you would have
you
kept
can,
those head covers on, who knows? Maybe we're talking about you winning the PGA championship.
yeah, well, here's the problem though. I am a person, as you know, when you play with me, I wear no gloves. So
Yeah, you're
my
the exact
alignment,
opposite of Mr.
yeah,
Ray.
listen, we'll start right there. Aaron, he won. He deserves it. I'm very happy for him. We talked about this actually last week about how random guys do win the PGA Championship more often than any other major. I am very happy for him. There are some people on Twitter who are eviscerating the gloves and like just making him out to be a joke and whatever. He doesn't deserve that. He earned this. And really, he did earn it, because there was a period of time where everyone got back in it at 6, and then he turned the fucking gas on and, eagle and birdie, and he takes it. He earned it. But I have to say, and this is not, we'll get into the experience of watching this and the gambling and all this, but I am a person, this is the same thing with basketball last night, watching the Spurs win. I'm cheering for the Spurs. Wemby, he's just a fucking killer. I love it. And I know that Aaron is a grinder, and I appreciate that, but there's something, same thing with Alex Smalley. There's something about these guys that I just personally do not identify with. And in the case of Aaron, I don't identify him with, to the point where literally I wear no gloves, he wears 2 gloves. We can't be friends. We can't be in the same room. There's something about that while I'm really happy for him, and it just shows how broad the game of golf is, it kind of ruined it for me. I don't give a shit what that guy's going to say. I probably never see him again. I don't know. Or maybe we will. I don't know.
Yeah.
You tell me. It just didn't do it for me, I
I
guess.
mean, here's the thing. Like you and I are guys that watch the tour week in and week out. So like I think you and I have made fun of the dual gloves and the iron head covers 3-4 years ago. What you saw on
Ironically,
Sunday was like,
I almost put him in my pool, in your pool. I almost picked him because it was like he was like 6,600 or something like that.
it was
And I
cheap.
picked Smalley instead, but which
Well,
also
I
almost
mean,
worked out.
yeah, yeah. So I think you were dead on. If you had both those in the lineup, then I
I
would have
did.
been
And I had Kitayama was another
Venmo
one.
Joe would have been sending you some money today.
I had to pick between one of them and Kitayama. I took Burns instead of Kitayama.
So
Burns
like
did fine.
with yeah, Burns was all right. With Rye, right? This was his introduction to the public this weekend, right? Like he took the lead on Saturday, so all of a sudden he's getting a bunch of TV coverage, and then the last 2 hours were basically him, because all of a sudden he took a tournament that looked like it could be any guy. Like there was 15 guys that could have won it, and then all of a sudden he caught fire, and it was like, oh shit, Aaron Rodgers going to win this tournament, and that's all we got, right? Was the backstory on him, which you and I knew. Yeah, I don't relate with him, but I think he's a good winner, right? Like everyone came out on the tour and said how great of a guy he is. He's a grinder. He's a guy that doesn't have the most talent, and sometimes when you see the guy that doesn't have the most talent but just grinded his ass off, and he's rewarded with one of those just like spectacular moments on a back nine of a major. It's a pretty cool story, and he's the one guy that was able to separate himself the whole tournament, right? I think we all kept waiting for that, right? Like the leaderboard just kept being bunched up and no one could get beyond a certain number, right? Like I think when we saw Thursday, you and I had talked about last week, the goal for the players were to be -4 every day because everyone thought this was going to be a birdie fest at Aronimink. The superintendents in the PGA Tour of America were like, no, fuck you guys. Like we hear all the shit talk. We're going to give you impossible hole locations, and then they got the benefit of the wind howling. But you did see -4 be the lead on Thursday, and then it just stayed there. It stayed there Friday. It stayed there Saturday, right? Like everyone was bunched up at 4. You got Smalley at 6 under going into Saturday, but no one. And still, two shots going into Sunday with all those guys chasing Smalley. You didn't feel like there was separation. And then finally, Aaron Rai got it, right? Like he eagles 9, he birdies 11, he birdies 13, birdies 15, birdies, or not birdies 15, pars 15, which is really a birdie because that was a 550-yard par 4, birdie 16, and then makes the bomb on 17. And you're like, finally, someone separated from the field. To me, it just felt a little anticlimactic because you just thought that there was going to be these fireworks on the back nine where you had like 3 or 4 guys dueling. It didn't materialize, right? Like Aaron Rai went and won the golf tournament, so you got to give him credit for that. Um, you and I backing Ludwig were obviously disappointed. That guy was just stuck in like it's like you look at him and he's like a Porsche, but he gets stuck in neutral, and it's like you might as well be driving a freaking beat up Ford Taurus. Like he is one of the most frustrating golfers to have money on, and I'm sure we're gonna get into that. But good for Aaron Rai, man. He went and won it. No one gave it to him. He went and slammed the door, 6 under through 8 holes is absurd when you think about the leader going into Sunday with 6 under through 54 holes. So for him to go nuclear 6 under through 8 holes, most of that happening on the more challenging back 9, like all the kudos to him.
Agreed. The prick in me always likes a fun punching bag or just like an epic story. That's just kind of how I am. I was geared up. I'm not gonna lie. I was geared up for Alex Smalley to win because I wanted to see what he and Mama would do. I I was in fucking disbelief. I started throwing.
I don't even know what his story was because
Oh my God.
I refused to go down the Alex Smalley path because all I saw was people trying to say on Saturday night that he beat Scotty Scheffler in like the quarterfinals of the NCAA. Yeah, and I'm like, why are we pushing this? Why are we pushing this agenda that this guy is like not going to fold?
Let's unpack that. Actually, I'm going to tell 2 stories at the same time because that's the kind of podcaster I am. One, they're telling you that story because, and I'm sure you noticed this, they tried to jam down your throat that Scotty Scheffler is still going to win this tournament every minute until like the last 4 holes of televised golf. They spent at least 45% of all camera time on Scheffler. And like, no, if he just makes this one, that's okay. He's fine. If he just makes this one, if he just makes it, like they were jamming down your throat. So the buildup, they were. And and that's a whole nother part, which I'm going to get into in part 2 of this. But like so they wanted the narrative. The only person they could tie the narrative to happened to have the lead. And that's Alex Smalley, who happened to play for Duke and happened to play against Scotty and happened to beat Scotty when Scotty was a mere mortal, although right now arguably mortal again. But that was the narrative they wanted to happen. The part that was hard, I mean this with, actually I don't even mean this with respect, but I do to any listener who's a dork. Alex Smalley's a fucking dork. Like, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like I like Brooks Koepka. Call me a fucking bro. I like Pop the Collar. I like Koepka. I like guys who have a little bit of.
You are a hardo. You are a hardo.
Yeah,
Scott, so
totally.
That makes sense.
Absolute fucking hardo. I like guys who have a certain swagger, and this is nothing personal. I'm sure he's a really good kid or whatever. He's richer now. Also crazy that he's like 210th all-time money list with 10 million in career earnings, and he's never won a tournament on tour. That's insane. His backstory is that he's like his mom was a chemistry professor. It's like Ivy League school. I think maybe at Stanford or wherever it was. He ends up going to Duke. He's a dork. He plays golf. He wears fucking sleeves under his shirts. He talks like a dork. And his mom follows him, and he goes to every tournament with mom.
Oh, I saw that. She
And she's
tracks all
doing
his
all the
shots.
recording
Yeah,
because no
yeah,
one's
yeah.
recording his game. And then she analyzes, and the two nerds sit there and eat, fucking crackers and talk about his. It's just weird. You're grown up. You're a fucking grown up, kid. And I know that the funny thing is I'm going to get attacked on Twitter. Well, probably not, because it's all bro hardos on Twitter. If I posted this anywhere but Twitter, I will get roasted, because this is what golf dads do. And I'm only saying this because it's a golf mom and it's weird and I'm calling him a dork. But no professional 29-plus-year-old golfer making millions of dollars at this point has mom following him around, or dad for that matter. It was a weird narrative, and he was kind of goofy about it. And I had a lot of money on the line for him to win. And it takes a hell of a lot for me to be like, kind of don't, like there's something there. And it drove me fucking crazy. And the funniest part of it of all is that he doesn't win, so I don't get the money. And then the only person who would beat him would be a guy who wears 2 fucking gloves and head covers. It's like, you can't make this shit up. Like, I was just having myself a day. All of that aside, I do think it's great for them. I think it's great for the game that there's this kind of diversity, and that players like this can come in a tournament. And we'll talk about the putting thing in a second here. But like, the last thing I have on the Rye, and I think it's really interesting, is this is what I was watching, at least. I saw, this is the grinder, right? Like, this is the one thing that there is to admire about him, is there was a little bit of ass kicker mentality, that he kind of quiet assassin, that it seemed to me, and I think the commentators talked about this when he made a turn, maybe it was like on 10 or 11, what is it, 12, whatever hole you can see the scoreboard clearly, and they kept talking about, like, everyone can see very plainly the scoreboard. So he turns a corner, and it's almost like he looked up and he was like, I kind of expected the Scotties, the Rorys, the Ludwigs, all these guys to like turn it on hard and go for it. And I see early on, Smalley goes back 2 strokes with the double, and he's thinking, these guys are going to turn it on. They're fucking unbelievable. They're going to shoot 63, 64, and I'm going to, do well and in place, but that's it. And when he turns a corner and sees that none of them are turning it on, he's like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Like,
his tournament.
I could do it. And he fucking did it.
And
That
I will say, what was super impressive about him is that when he got in the lead, dude, he did not miss a shot. Literally did
No.
not miss a shot. Like, you kept waiting for, all right, when is he going to have a leaky drive, or when is he going to airmail something over the green and put himself in a stressful position? The only stressful position he put himself in, he had like a 10-footer. This is where it turned for you and I, is holding Ludwig tickets. They're playing together, right? They're the third to last group. Hole 10, I has just eagled, so he's at 5 under. Ludwig had birdied 9, so he's at 4 under, right? Between those 2 guys, right? Anyone's tournament. On 10, Rye's got like a 10-footer for par, nails it, right?
Yep.
Nails the whole back
Dead center.
9.
Center or cup.
Dead center. Ludwig misses a 3-footer, and it's like, all right, see you, Ludwig. And then Rye goes to the next hole, has a great drive, sticks it to 4 feet, birdies, right? And he's off to the races, right? And then, like, again, after that, you're just waiting for, well, surely the back nine's tough. Like, he's gonna stumble somewhere. He just never did. And I got to give him a ton of credit for that. He just kept hitting unbelievable golf shots. Hole 13, that drivable par 4 where you saw before Rye went there, Rory had the worst swing of the day, right? Got stuck, pushed it way right, bogeyed right. Like, that was Rory's tournament right there. He gets up, hits it into the bunker, another kind of stressful spot for him, and he hits it to 6. Like, that was a very hard bunker shot. It was like a 35-yard bunker shot, and sticks it to 6 feet, kills the putt, goes to 14, which was a super hard par 3, hits the green, like, ho-hum par. Like, it was just so impressive that, like, when he got in the driver's seat, and to your point, he looked at the leaderboard, he knew when he was in the driver's seat, and to see him not falter and just close that was cool, right? Like, that was cool. Like, all the other stuff, like the double gloves, the covers. I know there's good reason
Yeah,
for it. Like we're not into that, but like the fact that he went and won a major, no one gave it to him. It wasn't like everyone was shitting down their leg, and it was just like, yeah, the guy that finished even par for the day won. It was no, it was the guy that went out there and won it and hit like pressure golf shot after pressure golf shot, and that's what he did.
I agree. I think, narrative around the tournament itself, um, for better or worse, it got a lot of comments around it being basically a long putting contest, and it didn't. Some people love the scoring, and some people like the defending par. I personally like it. I think it's a mix up. I like that every 3 or 4 tournaments a year, it's like actually really tough, and I also like when it's a rat race. But one of the biggest problems, and this continues to be something I gripe about every show from a media coverage perspective, the golfers, they gave us the fucking show, man. They gave us the goods. The way that it was packaged and presented didn't give us the goods. Because they spent so much time on Smalley's mum and on fucking Two Gloves McGee. Instead of
Is Smalley English or what's the
no,
mo
no, but
like
Immelman and another guy kept going. When he wins, it's gonna be a great thing for mum. It was like one of the guys on there, whoever's got the accent, that he kept saying it, and all I heard in my ear the whole tournament was mum, mum. And I was like, what the fuck
all
is
right.
it? It was
I
anyway.
thought you were confusing Aaron Rye, who's actually
No, no,
English,
no,
so
no, no,
that's why I
no,
was
no,
like
no, 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 no. They kept saying his mum, and it was like driving me
got
nuts.
it.
The point here is these guys, if I went back and looked after, like I didn't pick Smalley completely randomly, and I'm not going to pretend I'm familiar with his game all the way, but I had seen him doing top 15, top 21, 26, 22. He's been floating around, and he was a course horse on a course like this, a place that he could play well. That's why I picked him, and he was cheap. And, at that price, to me, had been playing well. There's plenty of dialogue, interviews, commentary for the last day, the last 2 hours that you could have given to make me as a viewer feel like Smalley does belong in this like now that we're here with 3 holes left, it's a race. All shit's even. Everyone's, the big dogs didn't do what they could do or should do. Like it's on. They could have done that for Rye. They could have done that for Smalley. They could have done that for a lot of guys. And instead they focus on these stupid hacky stories that now I'm turning into a podcast talking about. But like, I felt like I was waiting for Aaron to falter. I was looking at Smalley and going, well, he's come back now twice. He's got himself back in it. If he makes one birdie here at the end and Aaron falters back, and maybe Ludwig and John Rahm, that's a different story. Maybe he makes it. He had good hands all day. I was waiting for a fall back instead of a go-to. And that's the part that I think got me. And so, in general, that I would have liked to see a little bit more out of that. In
Yeah,
general, I
I
just feel like it
agree.
was a
But
tournament
I
that
mean,
that should
I
have
think that
been juiced better.
that's what the broadcast wanted too, right? I mean, I think that's why they kept showing Rom, they kept showing Rory. To your point, they kept showing Scotty. Even, I mean, I don't know how they thought Scotty was going to win going into Sunday when he missed
Couldn't
eight
make putts.
putts within 5 feet on Saturday. Like it was bad. I mean, in looking back on it, I mean, one thing, right? All the procrastinator or the guys that were previewing the tournament for Aronimick, we all got it wrong, right? We all thought it was going to be a birdie fest. Um, but once you knew how the course kind of shaped up, what you saw was like what we always talk about, the approach shots were everything, right? Especially with where they were putting these hole locations, like on the spine of the greens and like just on the green. I mean, it was so hard, right? You could hit it, 3 feet left or 3 feet right, and it would roll 30, 40 feet away. So you just had to be super precise. I think Rory was wrong when he said it was just a, you know, bomb it and, figure it out from there. That clearly wasn't what the course called for. I will say I think golden opportunity miss for both Rom, Rory, and Ludwig, right? Like I don't know. I just think one of those guys has got to take over on Sunday. Like you've got to be the guy that takes control over that tournament on the front nine, not on the back nine, right? Like because I think if someone goes out there and gets to 7 under 8 under on that front nine, and the front nine there was gettable, right? I mean, that's where you saw the scoring. Hole 1 was birdieable, hole 2 was birdieable. 9 was the par 5 was gettable in 2. Like there was just shots to be made. I think if if Ludwig, Rahm, Rory, one of those guys gets to 7 or 8 under, and then like the Aaron Rise and Matty Schmitz and Alex Smalley's of the world look at the leaderboard, they're like, all right, that's the guy that's going to win the
Changes the
tournament,
narrative.
and it does change the narrative, and it just no one went and grabbed it um until Aaron Rai kind of like fell into that eagle on hole 9. But
See, I don't think he's like, I don't think he fell into that, Joe. Like, that's the part I'm saying. Like,
well, dude,
I think he was waiting
if you
for,
make a 40 footer though, that like there's luck involved there. Did he hit two
well,
great
yes,
shots to have a
yes.
40 footer for eagle? Of course. But if you make a 40-foot bomb for eagle, like
But
there's
you
some
saw
luck
multiple
involved in
guys,
that.
Spieth included. You saw multiple guys, Spieth included, before he kind of fell off. He didn't fall off that much, but fall off. Lay up. You saw multiple guys like not go for it and be in a situation where it was like, maybe I make a birdie, I probably make a birdie, but I don't make a bogey.
Yeah,
And
no,
play
he
like
gets credit. He gets credit for going for it. It's
he kept
just
putting
I don't
himself in a
know.
position where if things broke well, he could win. And the other guys, I think this is also, it's the parity part of golf is great. We've got all these great players. The thing that we're missing, and this is also, I think, why the TV experience, media experience has been lackluster, is we don't, even Scotty, when he was winning all the time, we would say he was boring winning. He was just beating people. I wouldn't, and I'm not challenging the man's competitiveness at all, but we don't have guys out there who are like dogs. Like Rory, to me, didn't seem that passionate about this. He seemed sort of like, well, I played like shit this day. I played great this day.
Rory was like his Sunday round was infuriating. Like
Right.
I texted this
But
to you like
so was
it was
Ludwig.
just like yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but the Rory round, we've seen it before, right? It was at St. in 2022 at the Open when he was winning going into the final round, and he just kept giving himself 30-foot birdie putts all day and just missing short. Like he was just stuck in neutral, and then the opportunities where you had to make birdies on Aronimik, which were few and far between. Hole 9, he pars, right? After a 380-yard drive, right? 80 yards into the green with a 7-iron. He pars that par 5. And then hole 13, the drivable par 4, which we talked about, he got stuck. He bogeys. Um, Frustrating if you had him. And then Ludwig, good God, man. That guy was the betting favorite numerous times over the weekend. That was the guy you and I both gave out last week. He birdies hole 2. It looks like he's going to be off to the races. And then he just made some of the dumbest mistakes I've ever seen on a Sunday in a major, right? Like airmailing the green on several shots where like, hey, a par is a good score at Aronimik, and he kept introducing bogey after bogey, and it was pretty infuriating. And then, he needs to figure out his putter, right? I don't know if it's going to a mallet. I don't know what if it's talking to Brad Faxon like Rory
Dude,
did, but like his putting is a real problem. And like, is it just a problem with the top guys? I mean, Scotty's struggling, Cam is struggling, which you called out like, hey, this is going to be a thing. Guess what? It's a thing. Like he's got a thing within 5 feet now. It's just bad.
Scotty is not struggling with the putter. He's just not nailing putts that he usually nails. Like, I don't think he obviously could be better. I'm not saying that, but like these other guys, it's straight up a weakness. I mean, Brooks Koepka, if he could putt right now and have the right putter, he'd be the #1 golfer on the planet based on his iron play and approach and everything else. Like he's a complete player. We have a bunch of guys right now who I think are struggling with the putter. I think you see a lot of equipment changes more frequently. Used to see guys like Scotty, like Tiger Woods and others with their Scotty Cameron for fucking 14 years with the same shit. And now it's like, he's in a mallet, he's crosshand, he's clawhand, he's this, he's tall, he's this, he's lab, he's cobra, he's a spider, he's an odyssey. Like, these guys are bouncing all over the fucking place. And I don't believe it's about money or marketing. I think it's literally like in their head. Like, I think that you're just always, we have a lot of young guys who grew up watching the game from a mechanics perspective. They got Ledbetter Academy and all this kind of stuff when they're younger, and they're tinkerers. And this is the thing that tinkerers do. I mean, we need to see more putting. I will say this, though, and I still will continue with you to drown and lose money on Ludwig. This guy, I said this to you 2 weeks ago. there's a fucking makeup problem. It's this like the putting is if he's making putts naturally, he's gonna win because he's just that skilled. He's on autopilot. It's like
Yeah.
I said this last week. He doesn't know how to like temper. Oh, I'm gonna drill it over the green. This matters. I don't like. He just doesn't do that. And this is not course management. This is a person who's just sort of like the smartest kid in school, and he just cruises through all the tests, and then he gets into real life, and someone tells him the scores don't fucking matter, and he can't do anything. Like he's got all the tools. He could be better at putting, yes, and he will win if he's putting because everyone wins when they're putting. But I
Yeah,
just
but he
see a
doesn't.
guy.
But I'm not even talking about he needs to be like making everything. He just needs to
No,
be average and putting because he's so much like, dude, this week he was number one tee to green, like number one.
I again, I'm not there to see him practice. I don't. He's
Ugh.
incredible, but I just watch this guy and I watch how he plays, and I'm thinking, I don't see you taking that extra like step away glance. I don't see you zeroing in with intensity at certain times, ratcheting up, ratcheting down. You're
I
just
would
like
agree on that.
my read on Oberg is this. Both of these are really high, right? But his floor and his ceiling are like fucking like this. They're super high, but the gap between floor and ceiling are they're very tight. He doesn't play terrible, but he doesn't explode through. And there's a I don't know. There's something there that just doesn't like shit. I would take 2 gloves rye and his like elevate to the momentness. Oh, and put that with Oberg, and you probably see wins. I don't know. There's something there that just doesn't. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to describe it exactly. Just like a
You
few
you
weeks ago,
are
I
you
couldn't describe
are
it.
you are right. I think the thing that people love about him is kind of what you hate about him too. It's like him being robotic and like coming off as just like super carefree and like cool. When everything is going right, you love it, right? Because you're like, oh man, this guy, like everything just looks so easy. But to your point, when things require a different level of intensity, you don't see that. Like he doesn't seem to zero in. He goes through like he's just kind of like up there. He does his little takeaway where he looks and then he goes. And it's just like, is the strategy happening? And like the other thing is because he burst onto the scene a little bit later, I think everyone assumes that he's like 23 years old. Dude, he's 27, right? Like he's gotta like he's got to take
There was a
advantage of
yeah.
these opportunities.
There was a poll on the Twitters this weekend. Who is the best player on tour that you believe will end their career without a major? And I selected Oberg.
Yeah, and that's
Just
I
because he
mean,
reminds me of he's fucking James Harden.
yeah. I
I
hope
don't know.
that's not the case, but based on
Of
what we've
course.
seen, I mean, you know, but like you said, we'll probably continue to throw money at him because he's so
Yes.
enticing, right? Like he's
He's
so because when it's
he's around
on,
the
you're like,
rim every tournament.
yeah,
He's around the rim. He's around the rim, which is
yeah.
what you want to see. Well,
Eventually, you want him to dunk that, and
you
he
would
needs
like
to
I would
dunk
like
it.
to see a putback would be nice. He could repay me on all the money that he has cost me. All right, we've got another tournament this week. It's not as exciting as obviously the PGA and other tournaments we've had. This one in particular is not as exciting, but it is following a major and it's following what I would call a pretty jam-packed signature series up until the major. I'm not going to bring it up again on the show, but I still lament, like, why are we having all these tournaments stacked like this? It just seems kind of silly. And the players agree. The Dallas Buyers Club is there. Anyone who's from Texas is playing. Anyone who loves Texas is playing. Anyone whose ex-wife lives in Texas is playing. And that's it. So you've got Scotty. You've got, what is it, Siwoo? Siwoo's in this too, right? Siwoo, he's number
Siwoo's
2.
there,
Spieth,
Jordan's there,
Koepka.
Kepka.
Who else is? Yeah, that's about it. The
Aaron
dude that
Rise
he
dropped
took off.
out.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, he
like
took off.
I think you like the betting favorites outside of who you just I mean Keith Mitchell is the fifth betting favorite if that
Yeah,
tells you
Ryu.
anything. Like Cashmere Keith um or Thor is 40 to 1. He's like the seventh favorite and he just shot like 13 over the first 2 days at the PGA.
Yeah,
So like this is what I would say is
Jaeger's hot right now. He's hot-ish.
This is where you go down the leaderboard and you just take a flyer on some guys. That honestly, this is that tournament because it's a birdie fest, and you're just banking on the fact that Scotty doesn't care to defend his championship or his title, but like he probably could win this tournament in his sleep. But you're getting him at plus 168, which in a full field PGA Tour event is the I can't remember seeing worse odds than that. So
Pearson
I'd
Cootie.
recommend
That's the other one I was saying.
I'd recommend a winner without Scotty market because there's absolutely zero value in betting in. Zero.
Yeah, I would not go that route. I mean, if you want to go with the stay hot crew, Pearson Cootie was hot early in the season. He's been pretty cool lately, but he's, I believe, also one of those Texas fellas or is somehow associated Texas. Max Greersman playing very well, played
I
well
do
this
like
week.
Max. I do like Max. And you know what? You know
Rasmus
what got
Hogard is
Max?
another one too.
You know what got Max on my mind is they kept showing Aaron Rye winning at Wyndham. Like I think that was 2 summers ago, and the guy that he beat was Max. And Grazerman has been like, I don't know, he's been sniffing a win. I really like that one. I do like Rasmus. I actually liked his brother before he dropped out, but Rasmus, like both the Hogards have game for days, so I do like the Rasmus pick. Going further down the leaderboard, there's two guys that I like from a long shot perspective. Carl Phillips is the guy that we played at Zurich that played with Thor. He's playing really well. He contended at Myrtle Beach when everyone was at Quail Hollow. That was actually the event that Aaron Rye played in too. Aaron Rye didn't even qualify for the signature event and then won the PGA. And then I like Mark Hubbard, who's actually finished second at Myrtle Beach. So he seems to be playing really good golf right now. Although he did get outdueled by Brent Snedeker to lose Myrtle Beach,
Snedeker.
but he was there. He was there.
You don't want any Garrick Hugo action?
Oh, dude, no, can't stand that guy, man. Cannot stand. I do like the AI stuff that you've been doing picture wise on golfers and putting the
Dude, the
pacifier
fucking
in his mouth.
binky in his
Oh,
mouth.
so did you see he fired his caddy? So he's clearly, but like he's taking no accountability for being late for that tee time
Gen
and
Z.
throwing his caddy completely under the bus, even though the caddy was yelling at him to get to the tee. Like, grow up, dude.
Typical Gen Zer. AI. I wish AI would take his job too. Yeah, I'm good.
I did
that
love that he missed the cut and he missed it by one shot.
Yeah,
He got the
perfect.
2-stroke because after the first round, everyone's like, "Oh my God!" Like he shot 1 under with the penalty, so he would have been in the lead at 3 under. Like he's playing great, and then he completely shit the bed on Friday after the whole internet was talking about him for 24 hours, and that clearly got in his head.
Oh
Didn't
yeah,
play his best golf, but
he
never
showed up,
never
Joe. He
made.
showed up online trying to look for sympathy when he got the one shot loss. Like, did it really deserve to not make the tournament? And the entire internet exploded. Yes, this is the greatest thing. Maybe
Well,
you'll
dude,
learn a lesson, kid.
his explanation of
It
I
made no
was I
sense.
was late, but I was on time. If you know what I mean, it
I
like
don't. I
okay,
don't know.
dude,
And
yeah.
I'm a late guy. I'm fucking late. I'll be late to my own funeral. But that's stupid. This is a simple rule. It's maybe the only rule in golf that actually is written down very plainly. Whatever. I don't know. You know who was my pick to click here? Totally random. Ho Tong Lee. I would just love to see him
I
taking
love
a piss
Hotang
break,
Lee,
a smoke
man.
break, and win this tournament.
By the way, on the two guys that I gave out, Carl Phillips is 180 to 1 and Hubbard is 195 to 1. So if either of those guys cash, we're going to be celebrating next week when
I
we
mean,
reconvene.
just put those things in a top 10 and you're going to make a little bit of money if they do well. I like those picks. Before we head out of this, Jordan Spieth, do you like him here? Is he just not going to win again? We don't need to break his game down. What is
I
going
don't
on?
like him. I don't like him for this week. He's relevant again,
Better.
which is
Yeah.
fun. He's hitting the ball really well. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. It's his putter, right? Which is crazy because his putter is what
This thing
carried
was the
him
best.
to all his major championships. So I do think there's going to be value on him at some point. like he's gonna nearly win or win a tournament this year. I'm pretty confident in that. I would not take him when he's 17-1. Like, I mean, he's the third
Not for
favorite
gambling
here.
purposes, more just for
Yeah,
like
for
wouldn't
yeah,
speed the story. I think this is a good chance for him to place, and if he places here, in my opinion, if he places top 5 in this tournament, I think you're going to see a win out of him in the next 3 tournaments.
I agree. I think
Like
he's
I feel
right
like he just
there.
needs
I
to
think
see
he's
like
right there.
a couple shots, and he's there. All right. This week we made our picks. We'll share it on the socials. You can follow me at Katoon on all my socials. Venmo Joe on Instagram. Good old Joe Koziel on the Twitter. Listen to the show. Subscribe. You can go to nostrokes.co and subscribe to the newsletter. Go to our nostrokespod.com dashboard. We built this fancy golf IQ, which I have used now a couple times for this, that allow you to actually ask the IQ how you should fill out your brackets, your pools, your one and dones. And it's incredible, and it's getting better and better. And it's not just basic AI. We're taking all of the results that we've been doing week over week over week, and I'm feeding it to it. So I like where we're going with it. Joe, thank you so much as always for taking the time to join us on our little podcast.
Hey, thank you, Scotty Tuati. And hey, man, congrats on the Smalley first round leader bet, man. We didn't even get to cover that, but that was a hell of a hit.
The hit was Bryson Fade with the Alex. I paid out over $1,000. Bryson Fade, Alex Fitzpatrick makes the cut.
That was a great
$1,000.
parlay too. That was a great parlay. I mean, and like Bryson never really sniffed the cut for you, so that was, I mean,
I was safe in 3 holes. I was
good.
already
Yeah.
cashing checks. Oh man,
All right, my
poor
friend.
Bryson. All right, take care.
See ya.
See ya.